In 2016, we saw Kendrick Lamar take on elements of jazz and funk on his Untitled Unmastered compilation album. Childish Gambino took on George Clinton and Parliament-styled psychedelic funk on his album Awaken My Love. And even Drake tried his hand at merging pop with hip-hop and dancehall on Views. But unlike many of his peers, j.cole doesn't take too many risks or stray too far from his boom bap roots on his album For Your Eyes Only. Eyes Only is a cozy offering from j.cole. Listeners should feel at home as j.cole performs a few familiar signature moves, including carefree tracks in the same realm as Get Away from the warm-up and Nobody's Perfect from Sideline Story, such as Folding Clothes, along with some new flavor, including a two-part piano and violin serenade called She's Mine, which is reminiscent of Mac Miller on his Divine Feminine album that came out this year in 2016 as well. Since Born Sinner, my main knock on j.cole is that he should stop seeking to produce his entire album solo. I mean, I respect it from an artistic standpoint, but I think when critics repeat the often heard criticism that j.cole is boring, they're referring to how comfortable j.cole sounds on each track. This is in regards to j.cole's production and his delivery. After a while, his songs begin to sound very linear and not in a he's in his pocket type of way, like when Young Thug is on a London beat or when YG is on a Mustard beat, but in a this sounds too easy for him type of way. Another knock that I have on album Cole is that he needs features to break the monotony of his albums. Hell, even singing features would help. j.cole should not be the one singing some of the hooks and bridges on this album, like the higher notes on Ville Mentality and For Whom the Bell Tolls. I mean, I appreciate that Cole is trying to make the album more personal by doing this, but his singing voice is just not dynamic enough for this yet. In contrast, the Ari Lennox feature on Change feels refreshingly colorful after nearly 8 songs of Cole trucking it alone. And the Chargot feature on the title track, For Your Eyes Only, enhances the emotion on what is arguably the best song on the album. Now, I think it's good that j.cole released a shorter album for the reasons I just mentioned. But I feel like this project will be even better received if it were even shorter. Despite being only 44 minutes, it feels like this album has a lot of filler. I mean, in reality, it doesn't because most of the songs tie into the concept of the album. But it just feels like there's a lot of filler. There are whole songs that can be cut out, like Deja Vu, and there are parts of songs that can be cut out to improve the overall playability of the album. For example, the Put Your Finger in the Sky and Club Jumping on Top, Don't Stop part on Deja Vu could be removed completely and the whole song would benefit. And the girl's somber anecdote about her deceased father on Ville Mentality breaks the vibe and tempo of an otherwise buoyant ballad about Fayetteville street woes. The relaxed reflection and hazy keys on Ville Mentality kind of reminds me of Kendrick Lamar's Chapter 6 on his Section 80 album. Now, there are definitely some great moments on this album, like the Kendrick Lamar Sing About Me-esque urgency and reflection on the title track For Your Eyes Only, and Cole's floaty syllables over the piano riff on She's Mine Part 1. But I'm not sure if there's a song on this project that I can play all the way through without skipping a verse, a hook, a bridge, or even an outro. Even the bouncy and hopeful track Change is played with a tearful monologue during the song's last minute that breaks the song's tone in two. I'm inclined to fuck with Cole's music more times than not, and I think spiritually I'm intact with this album, but musically this isn't engaging me. The shining moment on the album is on Neighbors, where Cole delivers his best Kendrick Lamar interpretation flow over some smacking drums. On the hook, Cole evokes a infamous hip-hop paranoia of white-collar neighbors finding out you sell drugs or thinking you sell drugs due to your money and influence. Neighbors transitions into the bass guitar-driven Folding Clothes, which is a carefree sonnet that evokes the same tropic freedom that j.cole's 2011 hit Can't Get Enough did. Final verdict on For Your Eyes Only. I appreciate j.cole speaking on realness such as police brutality, love, and disparate situations through storytelling, But musically, this project feels flat to me in a similar way that Views by Drake did. Cole sounds restrained, which is ironic because this is a very open and lyrically free project. I'd give For Your Eyes Only a C+. I recommend For Your Eyes Only to all Cole supporters and fans of boom bap. While the album doesn't take too many chances in terms of sound and production, it reveals maturity from Cole as a writer, a vocalist, especially a singer and harmonizer, a producer, and as a socio-politically aware African American male and father in 2016. Good job, Cole.